Hello and welcome, everyone, to the AfterBuzz podcast. My name is Nico Adjemi, your host of the AfterBuzz, and of course with me is Mr. Buzz Adams.
Good day.
Good day. Why don't you sing that song you were singing earlier?
What the hell was I singing?
Big Titties and Beer?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't want to sing that.
Big Titties and Beer.
Thank God Almighty for great big titties and beer. Titties and beer. It's a Rodney Carrington song. I'm surprised that you have ever heard it.
Oh, I love Rodney Carrington.
No, you've never heard of this song, have you?
Not the song. No. But you know what? The more you were, do it again one time.
I don't feel comfortable doing that.
I love his bit about the strip club that has a strip mobile that will come get you, and it has two big boobs on the top for headlights.
I haven't heard that one.
You haven't heard that one?
I guess so.
We'll have to listen to that. Well, welcome to the AfterBuzz. Today's topic was going to be twofold. I have a list of words from World War I that have become common parlance.
Words from World War I.
Yes, or coined in World War I at least.
Doughboy.
We'll have to see until we get to the list. And, interestingly enough, we're at like 175. I don't know. We're at a bunch of episodes now.
175?
165 maybe, sorry.
Okay.
But I sometimes forget what we might have done or not have done. So somebody who listens regularly, let me know if I've done this topic already. I'm pretty sure I haven't. I'm almost positive.
I don't remember this one.
Right. But we're also maybe not the best judges of that kind of thing. Today, we got to, or we're going to get to interview Bruce Dickinson.
Bruce Dickinson.
From Iron Maiden, right?
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Yes, he's got a new solo album and comic book project. So we're going to be interviewing him later today and then play it tomorrow.
That sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get started with the topic, I have a study that I thought you would find very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. This is from scipost.org, and it's about evolutionary psychology.
Great.
This is the title. Extreme metal guitar skills linked to intrasexual competition, but not mating success. So...
What?
Well, tell me...
Are you saying somebody who's able to shred like some Iron Maiden on guitar, that comes from some kind of adaptation to try and attract a mating partner?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So the research suggests that guitarists who devote more time to playing chords are actually more motivated toward casual sex.
Yeah, I'm a totally campfire chord player. That's me.
But would you also agree that you're more motivated towards casual sex?
It's X. I don't discriminate. Casual, formal, semi-formal. Yeah, I don't care.
But you want to know what's interesting? That they found out that guitar practicing habits could actually also predict the number of lifetime sexual partners.
Unless you're a really famous guitar player, and then that just goes through the roof.
Right. I mean, that might not necessarily. This is for in general, because they studied like hundreds of different guitar players. So while time spent playing chords was linked to a higher desire for sex, it didn't translate into a higher number of sexual partners.
Okay.
You would think that being somebody who is more motivated...
Well, I'm surprised that guitars have anything to do with it. I would think it would be something much more primal, like just sense of rhythm.
Maybe. That's
our ancient ancestors didn't have guitars, but they could make new percussion music for sure.
Essentially what they did was they got a group of people and asked them and surveyed them how much time they spent practicing.
Oh, yeah. I don't spend nearly as much time practicing as a good guitarist.
So the people that practice a lot or end up playing a lot were really motivated for sex.
Oh, okay.
But it didn't turn out that they had more sex.
Unless you're Dave Mustaine or
this was a general study of not those people. It was not
famous
top guitarists.
Metal players have a lot of sex. Would be my guess.
Yeah, probably. So then they did something.
Joe Satriani's probably seen more ass than a New York City subway toilet seat.
Probably. just as many taints.
Right.
One of the more significant findings, though, was that the speed of guitar playing was a significant predictor of intrasexual competition, which means how much competition males between each other felt towards something. So the people who played faster or who said they perceive themselves as playing faster than other guitarists thought better of themselves.
Yeah, they should.
Why?
Yeah, they're probably better players.
Just from about the like metal, it's more about the metal speed, that kind of guitar versus
So you're talking more like the power chords and stuff.
Yeah, speed, just like that fast, like versus.
Yeah, but these guys can also like play the notes.
I'm talking about like
really fast,
like or a nice just ballad that somebody else.
I'm unconvinced that this has any kind of meaning from a standpoint of evolutionary psychology.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think the desire to be a musician somehow?
Oh, the desire to be a musician is 100% based on
getting ass.
Getting ass. For men, anyway. Definitely for men.
Weirdly, being
in fact, I think 90. So let's just go 99% of everything that men do originated in the idea that, hey, this could help me get laid. So if you became really good at sports.
Right.
Oh, if it hadn't been for girls, I would never have lifted a finger to play a sport.
Right.
I would have, you would have
done something else more useful to society.
Yeah, but
you could have found the cure to cancer.
Most of what men do is motivated by sex or the chance of sex.
Yeah. What is this study really telling us? Oh, if you learn a skill, people who like to practice also will want to have sex.
Yeah. That's an infinite list.
Now do it for chess players.
Yeah.
See if the people who practice more.
I swear to God, probably somebody was like, I would really impress the Russian ladies.
I will
chess skills.
I will capture my queen. Any chess puns? You got any?
I am just a pawn in this game called love. The two of us will go before a bishop.
End up in a castle.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into some words from World War I.
Simoleons.
What?
I don't know.
Simoleons?
I'm just spitballing here.
Doughboy sounded interesting. I wonder if that's going to come up. Skeeve.
Skeeve?
Yeah, or skive. I don't know how you pronounce it, but
how do you spell it?
Skive.
And I've never heard that word before.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Like to skeeve off?
I think that, first of all, is not a word. And if it were a word, I think it would be spelled Skeeveve. Oh, that gives me the skeeves.
No, it's different meaning, different word.
I don't know that one.
Derived from the French esquiver, meaning to slink away. It's used among soldiers to describe avoiding duties or work. In contemporary English, to skeeve still means to evade work or responsibilities, often by calling in sick. It does say British English.
Oh, yeah. I'm not familiar with that one, but you are a skeever. Let me tell you.
All right, next word. I'm not a skeever. I don't avoid duties or work.
Unless you have a halfway plausible excuse.
Work or duties avoid me. To strafe or strafe.
Well, strafing, when I think of that, I usually think of like World War II images of you do a run and you're just strafing with your machine gun fire. You're strafing the battleship or you're strafing the enemy soldiers.
Right.
Huh?
Originating from the German word strafen, meaning to punish. The term was popularized by German slogan, Gott strafe England. God punish England.
Strafe.
In English now, it's going to mean an attack by gunfire or bombing, especially from a low-flying aircraft and from the side.
Exactly how I picture that.
Now it can refer to severe reprimand or criticism.
Oh, man, the boss called me in his office.
He just strafed like... I'm not even sure.
Strafed.
Oh.
God, it's one of those words that sounds weird when you say it too many times.
Yeah. Brass hats.
Brass hats or brass tacks?
Brass hats.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, what about the term brass?
Oh,
the top brass.
yeah. I thought those would be like the officers because they have so many medals on their uniforms and shirts and stuff. Is that not right?
Well, on their helmets. Used to refer to high-ranking officers derived from the gold or brass insignia worn on their hats. The term brass is still used in military context to refer to high-ranking officials or the military establishment more broadly.
Yeah, the military brass, the generals. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
right.
Yeah, that one came from World War
One.
One.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right? Interesting. And strafe came from World War One. Blighty.
Well, I know what blight is. Blight is any, affliction of crops. So if your crops get blight, you probably, in the old days, probably starved to death. But does it have anything to do with that?
The corn blight got it, Pa.
Right.
A British term that originally referred to England or Britain itself, often used by soldiers longing for home. A blighty wound was a wound serious enough to require the soldier to be sent back to Britain away from the front lines. Now, while not commonly used today outside of historical discussions, it remains part of the lexicon of the period.
Yeah, some of those people in the underground deal in Fallout, like their crops had suffered blight.
Yeah, it got blight. Little blighty. Lousy. Or lousy.
Technically, that means full of lice.
Right. Man, what a lousy show that was.
You mean before World War I, nobody ever called anything lousy?
Mm-mm. Oh.
And
Probably.
you're saying it with a hard S, lousy,
Yeah.
which is probably originally right, I would guess.
Yeah.
Lousy, full of lice.
Well, they're saying it became common because soldiers in the trenches encountered lice constantly due to the unsanitary conditions.
And trench foot.
And trench foot.
Is that on there?
No, but there's some other trench-related words. Dud.
That's a bomb that didn't go off, or a bullet that didn't fire properly, or whatever.
Right. And now, just used more broadly to describe something that failed to meet expectations or is a failure.
I had this date. She turned out to be a real dud.
Right.
Like that?
Yeah, something like that. I was on Today's Show, and I felt like a dud. Fed up.
Had enough.
Yes.
Fed up. How did that come about in the context of World War II, though?
World War One.
World War I, dang it.
Soldiers used it to express their wariness with the war and conditions in the trenches.
I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
I'm fed up, but ironically, I'm starving, kind of, too.
Well, I think that's what they meant, is that they've been eating so much bullshit.
They're fed up.
They're fed up with it. Cushy.
Easy.
Right?
Like a cushy job is an easy job.
Derived from the Hindustani word kush, K-H-U-S-H, meaning pleasant. It was used by soldiers to describe something that was easy or comfortable. Today, it's usually a job or task that is easy or comfortable.
That indica kush is really good.
It's really cushy, man.
Wait, are those two words related? The Indian word for
Yes.
pleasure, or whatever you said?
Yes.
And kush as a 420 term?
Yeah.
Happy early 420.
Happy early 420. Kush to you. Hope it's a cushy 420 for everybody. Shell shock.
Well, we call that post-traumatic stress disorder now, but it's, it kind of went through different, you could be shot for having shell shock, meaning you are so
disoriented by the war or
but by the stress and by everything that you I'm trying to, look, it's, in years past, they didn't give a shit. They didn't care about that. You're malingering.
Yeah, you're malingering.
Yeah, they might accuse you of malingering. Patton slapped a soldier once.
Right, that was a big part of the movie.
Yeah, a big part of Patton. Yeah, was him.
Well, they didn't understand it at the time.
Yeah, but he had to go and apologize in front of all the assembled troops and everything.
Well, it's a slap in the face to everybody.
Shell shock.
Initially described the psychological trauma experienced by soldiers due to the incessant bombing around them all the time.
It would put anybody on edge.
Just to hear a bomb just all the time, like every 10 seconds.
And just the thought that one could be going off
right
on you,
Today, it's used broadly to refer to any post-traumatic stress disorder or acute reaction stress. But I've heard it like, oh, man, he just heard the news. Yeah, he looked shell-shocked.
He looked shell-shocked.
No man's land.
Oh, okay, so this has to do with trench warfare.
Yeah.
I know this one.
Go for it.
So the Germans got a trench on this side, and the Americans or British or French or whatever got a trench on that side. There's this, expanse of ground in between them, and that's no man's land.
Right.
Nobody's got control of that. But I guess sometimes somebody would have to go out there into that.
Get out there into no man's land. But you can still be used today. And you hear it when people refer to an area between camps still. Like, on this side of the building is all the studios and the talent for on-air staff. And on that other side is the sales. So really that middle bathroom is that's no man's land. Trench coat.
Well, since we're talking about World War I, I imagine there was probably like a long coat that people wore because it was so filthy and muddy and
so
unkempt.
This says it was designed as an alternative to the heavy serge coats or serge coats. Do you know?
How do you spell that?
Serge.
That's probably, I don't know. Maybe those were wool.
Wool. It sounds like about right.
Can you imagine wearing a wool jacket in a muddy, like a relentlessly dirty, muddy,
probably rainy
cesspool of fluids?
Ugh, my wool sweater just soaked up all the shit.
Okay.
Bump. I've never heard this, actually.
I don't know. Did they have... I mean, cocaine might have still been legal. Let's do a couple bumps. I have no idea.
Okay. It's short for bum fodder, implying toilet paper. And
bum fodder. Pass the bum fodder.
Wait, like
you mean the toilet paper?
Does your bum eat it?
It's fodder for your bum.
It's used to refer to excessive paperwork and red tape.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard that now? Does it make sense? I haven't. This might be like a British thing.
Yeah.
Binge.
Surely the word binge had to be around before World War I.
I guess, if anything, it was popularized because...
Go crazy on something. Go on a, binge eat, or, go on a shopping binge.
Or binge your TV show.
Yeah, binge watch.
It was still to this day, but it was initially referred to heavy drinking sessions by soldiers who were, quote, on a binge.
Right, sure. A binge drinker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the word binge existed before that. Surely.
I mean, it had to get popularized at some point. Maybe that's when people really started to just drink as much as they could, like really go out there and...
Maybe that's something the soldiers brought back from the war, like, John, hurry up.
And last but not least, over the top.
Too much, an excessive amount, although I bet it probably had to do with something about getting out of your trench and going over the top and engaging the enemy.
That's exactly it.
I mean, the implication there is
the context is pretty obvious.
Pretty obvious, right?
Yeah, that's it. But can you imagine, like, your safety zone is that trench, that 4-5 feet of mud and dirt that's above you or in front of you, and the second you get over it,
you're over the top. Can I tell you one of the very few interesting facts I know about World War I?
Sure.
The Red Baron, Baron von Richthofen.
You mean Snoopy's best friend?
No. It was his mortal enemy.
Oh, his mortal enemy.
But he was an actual pilot. Baron von Richthofen was such a well-known pilot that when he was shot down, they shot his plane down with small arms munitions. So rifles. And there are no less than 6 World War I veterans who claimed it was their bullet who killed the Red Baron.
That is interesting. That is very interesting. You're saying he was so well known that people could take pot shots at him from anywhere in the battlefield because he was obviously him.
When they finally got him, somebody hit him, but the Red Baron was still able to, in my understanding of things, to land his plane in such a way that they could then go up and identify, oh my God, it's the Red Baron. Who made that shot? And at least 6 guys said, yeah, it was definitely mine.
Murray. That sounds like an old name. Murray. All right. Well,
I got the bloody Red Baron of Germany. That's the Snoopy song, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 or more. Come on, sing this.
I barely even know the reference.
The Red Baron is rolling up the score. 80 men died trying to end that spree of the bloody Red Baron of Germany.
Now go into big titties.
Titties and bears. titties, and beer. Thank God Almighty for great big titties and beer.
Okay.
Titties and beer.
Great job, buddy. All right. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode of the After Buzz. Don't forget to check us out almost every Tuesdays and Thursdays. And the regular Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m., KLAQ 95.5. Talk to you all next time.
What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.